Hey everyone, good morning. Let's start with a quick question. How many of you have heard of Wix.com or WordPress? All right, awesome. For those who don't know, Wix.com or WordPress is essentially a solution for building websites, right? And there are only a few that may be old enough to remember before these services came along, you actually had to hire a developer to build websites, right? It took several weeks of going back and forth, a lot of money, right? And it was a process. You don't have to do that anymore. You go to a website, change some images, change the text, and you can actually build the website all by yourself. So with Safal, we are shooting to be Wix.com for building enterprise applications. Our solution is focused towards small and medium enterprises to help with their journey of digital transformation. And we do that by providing business solution, not by selling products. Safal, which comes from one of the many languages in India, means to be successful, right? And our goal is to help small and medium enterprises be successful with their journey of digital transformation by using our services-led enterprise application platform. We do this by centralizing, automating, and digitizing any and all the business processes. We do that to make the user and employee experience and productivity better by removing the bottlenecks, making the processes more efficient, by automating the processes that are basically repetitive, and all of that essentially towards improving the top line and the bottom line of the organization. When we look at any organization, for a leader to actually digitize the organization and go through that digital transformation, they have to connect all of the different processes that are within the value chain of the organization, right? The way industry is today and the way SaaS solutions have evolved over the period of time, we have amazing best-of-the-breed SaaS solutions, but they cater to a slice of the value chain, right? More often than not, these tools don't talk to each other, so most organizations end up putting together the processes using Excel spreadsheets. I've been in the industry for 25 years. I've worked for companies like Wells Fargo and Bank of America, all the way to companies that have only 10 employees. Every single organization on the planet is suffering with this challenge today. The reason being how the SaaS solutions have evolved. So what Safal intends to do is to provide a solution where we can fill these gaps by providing applications that are digital twin of the processes, and we can put together these solutions in hours and days rather than weeks and months. So something that used to take a lot of money and long period of time, we can turn things around fairly quickly and provide the solutions that give the users and employees a solution through which they can collaborate with other employees and users within the organization, right? Our solution integrate with other enterprise tools that may be in the organization, like your CRMs, ERP, finance systems, to provide a consistent experience for the employees and the users. So Safal, essentially, the core features of Safal are it's a low-code, no-code platform through which we can put together the applications rapidly. Once these applications, these solutions are available, they are made accessible through a central portal so that users know exactly the solution that they're using. It's all accessible through a centralized portal. The functionality and the apps are made available in the role-based access control through an authorization, which ensures that your HR team has access to HR apps and finance team have access to finance teams. Once we have these solutions built, we can integrate with the existing enterprise solutions like ERP, CRM, other finance tool, and automate as many processes as we can through this process. Now, moving on to the business model, we are focusing on small and medium enterprises. This is not the standard definition of what a small and medium enterprise is, but we believe our solution is a good solution for companies that have revenue between 50 million to 5 billion. The reason for going after this sector is because usually these organizations in the growth stage, results matter. and the CEOs are also the original founders that care about how the company is evolving and what kind of solutions are being used. There are 3 different price components for this solution. There's a base price for the platform, and as we build more applications, there's a cost per application. Once the solutions are built, there is a maintenance cost, just like how we pay maintenance cost and operational cost to AWS for using their services. We have maintenance cost on a monthly basis. The total ticket size or price for the solution is somewhere between $20,000 to $75,000, depending on how many users the organization has and how many solutions we end up building with this platform. Here are some of we launched back in August, and since then we have been trying to take this to market, and we have at the moment 5 different customers that we are working with in different stages. As you can see, they are in different industries, different use cases, but because of how the solution is built, we can cater to all of these different processes. Our ask at this point, we're looking for client referrals. I saw there were some logos for the business attorney, so I'll definitely follow up that. Looking for advisors, because we'll start the process for raising VC money in Q1 of 2024. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, first, as always, going first is the hardest, so I appreciate you doing so. So I think the number one thing that I always tell entrepreneurs is the number one goal of a pitch is to get a longer meeting, a one-on-one meeting where we can dive in. The vast majority of entrepreneurs want to tell me in great detail exactly what they're doing and how their product works. That's the next conversation, right? So for me, I always say, look, I want you to come up here and tell me a story. And the story almost has the same outline no matter whether you're doing what you're doing or we're doing something else, which is a problem exists in the world. There is a solution. Let me show you my product and how that solves that. This is the big opportunity that's available when we solve it. The market looks like this. We're different in the following way. We make money this way. Thus far, this is our traction. Our team is the right one to do it, and this is what we're asking for. That's literally, I don't care what you're pitching, that's the story, right? You can get through that in 6 minutes relatively quickly, as long as you kind of pull yourself out of the desire to tell me all of the different ways in which the product works or is ultimately unique. So I think that's kind of like the number one thing. I think in here, one kind of the big questions that I was left with at the end, one, I still don't really understand the team, right? So, I mean, team is 99% of what we bet on in the very earliest days. So I want to know very specifically why you should be the one to solve this. I don't really understand how this gets done today. Maybe I'm the ignorant one on the slide, but like, I don't understand what you're doing that's substantively different and who out there is trying to do similar things and how you stack up. So I think it's hard for me to really figure out where you fit within a market context on there. I'd love to see the product. That often helps me in the short period of time. Like if you just show me a 2 or 3 user like UX experience of how someone might get into it, use it, and then what the output might be. That visualization often helps me better than say a flow chart or words on that end. So I think like my takeaway on this one is like I definitely think there's a huge. I'd say the best part was WEX for enterprise apps. Like okay, I got that right. Like basically make people who are non-technical be able to do something technical. That was the one thing that really stuck with me that I could take away and say, okay, I think I understand that. But then I think, kind of walking me through that story a little bit more, compelling me to dig in on that next conversation is where you need to focus when it comes to pitching.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yep.
So I do realize that it's very difficult to get everything you want to do in 6 minutes. So given that kind of artificial constraint, but artificial constraints are good, by the way, because it does get you to focus. I will reinforce what Chris said around team. So, in real estate, it's location, 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 right? For entrepreneurs, it's team, 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 and you didn't spend any time talking about team. So we really, I really want to understand, you, the team, where did you come from? Why is this a passion? Because as Chris said, that trumps everything else, right? That trumps product, it trumps customers, it trumps revenue, it trumps everything else, because investors ultimately are making an investment in the team.
Can I respond to that now, or should I?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe any business conversation can be broken down into people, process, whatever, technology, product. So yes, I completely, fully agree. People, the team is the most important element. At the moment, I'm the CEO and the founder based in Charlotte. I have a couple of consultants here in Charlotte. They have been in technology for a while. If you go to LinkedIn and type rapid data, all of those profiles come up. I have a team of 15 people in India. All of the efforts are bootstrapped. They are full-time employees. And I have about 4 people in Egypt. Just the quality of the software developer turned out to be great over there. The CTO, who's a younger guy, about 27, 28, came from Microsoft. He spent 6 years working at Microsoft developing AI element for the Bing browser. Right? This was before OpenAI came along. Yeah. There are, again, that's essentially the kind of the high level of the team. At the moment, we don't have any advisors. Formally, I have a few seniors, members of the team that I previously worked with that are participating in that process. But yeah, so that's at a very high level. That's really the team. I specifically spent about 25 years in technology, working with spent 12, 13 years with Bank of America, spent several years with Wells Fargo. So all I've done for the last 25 years is technology.
And I couple of other things. One, I did like the Wexler, for application development, but I did get a little bit lost then when you started getting into where it fits, and there were a lot of questions, right? Is it BPO? Is it RPA? Is it where are you fitting? And so one of the things that Chris alluded to is having that kind of Gartner Magic Quadrant kind of thing around competition. Having a chart that really helps, especially if you're doing a quick introduction, to get people to focus on what you are as opposed to their mind going to what you're not. Right? So that's a real common thing for entrepreneurs to kind of get lost in, is really differentiate yourself around where do you fit. And then I'd work on a little bit of the hook, right? Because your hook here is, and the hook being, how are you different, right? And something that's going to be memorable. Because I think that helps somebody listening to your presentation really get laser focused. And then one thing that I would have spent a little more time on, I know you got rushed, it's really hard to do in 6 minutes. It's really hard to give our comments in 10 as well, by the way, because we only get 5 each, but was the success you've had with existing clients and what you've built. That I probably would have spent a little more time. And I know you went in, and you did a great job, by the way, on the revenue model, because that is important. So you checked that box, right? You did the revenue model. We had a pretty good understanding of how you priced and so forth. But I would have spent a little bit more time translating that into, and here's what we're doing with these existing customers, because what that told you is you had a very good horizontal, different industry work where you were, so there's, and again, that got to size of market and how big is the opportunity for what you're doing. It's pretty big, especially if you're really horizontal across multiple industries.
I'm just going to say really quick, I watched them, and when you said we're currently in the market, they both went and wrote it down.
Right.
That's I watched them both do that, so that's definitely.
Can I use next minute and 30
absolutely.
seconds on the use cases and the differentiator? I'll just address that. These are the 5, 2 are going to be the customer because we have signed the agreement, and 3 prospects that we are working with, different industries, different use cases. PruTech Solution is an organization that is $100 million in revenue, IT services organization based in New Jersey. Even being in the IT services, they don't have an internal, their business process management solution. So we're building simple solution that connects their client information with employees, with subcontractors, with contracts, with timesheet, just putting all of that in one system so they don't have to send Excel spreadsheets back and forth, because right now their processes are falling apart. There's a mid-sized pharmaceutical manufacturer in California, smaller company, $10 million. They want a HIPAA compliant B2B e-commerce platform so that their providers can place orders directly with this manufacturing company, right? Completely different use case. Dozy and Microland Finance, Axio, these are the companies in India. They are into healthcare manufacturing, microfinancing, but all of these three use cases, they are within the finance department. They are having struggles and challenges with how to process and issue purchase orders, how to collect and process invoices, because some invoices require purchase orders, some do not. All of that process is currently being managed in the Excel spreadsheet. So we're streamlining those. We are into contract negotiation with one, early on with Axio, and proof of value with Dozy. Really quick, the differentiator, there are other solutions out there. If you've heard of Power Apps, I would say that comes pretty close. But the main differentiator for us is if you were looking for a home, we are providing a move-in ready home, versus somebody else is saying, hey, we have the best lumber, best cement, best bricks. You still have to figure out how to put that together into a solution. We are actually providing a business solution that is ready to go because we are doing the work of integrating and making it all work.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, thank you.